here. So, WrestleMania 30. And this is where it got kind of interesting. You know, I was on WWE.com, and they gave the reveal of the stage, which I thought was really cool, you know, and boy was I really disappointed. I mean, the Triple X purple stage was fine and everything, the big WrestleMania sign, but other than that, did it ever not look cool? Like, seriously, this is your WrestleMania. This is the big time. Why did you... That's just nitpicking that isn't really necessary, I guess. Anyways, WrestleMania 30. Get to the pre-show, we have a fatal four-way tag team elimination match. The WWE Tag Team Champions. We have the Usos versus the Real Americans, Cesaro and Jack Swagger, with Seth Colter, which surprisingly ended up on TNA Impact recently, now going by his actual Dirty Dutch Mantel name. Ryback, and Curtis Axel, and Los Matadores, which was the Puerto Rican Matadors, Diego and Fernando, aka the Colognes. Yeah, that was an interesting tag team. With, of course, the midget in a bull suit, El Torito. Anyways, this was an interesting... Actually, no, I don't think I even saw this match. But the Usos won, and the tag team champions retaining, and it was cool. I do not remember this match. And then we get to WrestleMania 30. Now, what was cool was the opening of the show. The return of one Hulk Hogan, the immortal Hulk Hogan, who left TNA many moons ago at this time and just came back, still with the red and yellow boa and sunglasses. But what was very cool was, you know, watching Hulk Hogan on TNA, he almost seemed to me, like most wrestlers that jumped ship to TNA, he almost seemed to me like a shell of himself. And it was reminiscent of NWO Hulk Hogan. There wasn't really much of the Hulk Hogan that you saw in WWE or WWF at the time. But when he came back, it was like a new, rejuvenated, excitable Hogan. A guy that wanted to work, that wanted to be there. And despite all this crap about, you know, being in with the whole sex tape and racist comments, it was actually pretty cool to see Hogan. So he gets into the ring, and right away he botches his interview, or his speech, by calling the Superdome the Silver Dome. He quickly corrects himself. It's funny. What really pisses me off, though, and it, again, I'm a huge Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. So Stone Cold Steve Austin came out, and he talked about the Silver Dome, making fun of Hogan. And then The Rock came out. Finally, The Rock has come back to the Superdome. So, whatever. Anyways, they start talking about the memories of being in WWE and stuff like that. And this was cool. I really do love nostalgia. Seeing these three individuals, these former WWE champions, reminisce about the good old days. To me, this was cool, and I don't care what anyone else says. Despite everything I said about Hogan in the past reviews I've done, this was pretty cool to see him on the stage once again. Then we get the first match of the night, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. And the winner was entering for the WWE Championship match and the main event with Batista and Randy Orton. So Batista won the Royal Rumble, and everyone started bitching because they wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble. And I've tried to play devil's advocate. I try not to be the sheep and agree with the fans and all that kind of stuff. I could see their point, though. I mean, you had wrestlers like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Randy Savage, wrestlers who were not huge in the WWE, and they were WWE champions. So why not have Daniel Bryan? Now, he wrestled in SummerSlam against then Money in the Bank guy, Randy Orton, and Triple H, who was the face at the time, stabbed Bryan in the back, hence the Authority is born. In this match, the opener was meh, because you got to see how much of a jack-off not Triple H, but Paul Heyman could be. Whether or not this was a shoot, I don't know. But you had Triple H lose. Triple H lost to Daniel Bryan. Who would have thought? But then you had a confrontation with him and Stephanie. Bryan going to Stephanie and then getting slapped in the face by Stephanie McMahon. And then Triple H attacked from the behind and hurting Daniel Bryan so he doesn't make the WrestleMania main event. That is actual heat. That's real heat that a heel would want. And Triple H or Paul Heyman, it doesn't matter. They both want it. They both want to be that heel. And who better than Triple H? Now, whether or not he was actually embarrassed by losing to a wrestler that's shorter than him, who knows? But everyone got behind Daniel Bryan. Everyone got behind the Yes movement. Everyone was pushing for him, and it finally happened. I think later on, he became WWE Champion for the third time. First two being the short reign. And, he was beaten up pretty bad for it. And eventually that led to his retirement. Anyways, so then we had the 6-man tag team match. We had the Shield versus the New Age Outlaws. And the New Age Outlaws came back right where they left off. They came back for their 1000 episode with X-Pac and Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which I thought was pretty cool. So these guys came back and they did become tag team champions at one point again. And it's too bad when the Dudley Boys came back, they never had that, and that's a shame, but so yeah, New Age Outlaws lost to the Shield. It's kind of funny, but this would be the last time that the Shield were together. Oh, and Corporate Kane also wrestled in this match. Yeah, I don't like Corporate Kane that much. And we had a 30-minute battle royal for the first ever André the Giant Award. Now this award was pretty cool and appropriate. You know, Andre the Giant being a part of WrestleMania 3, being a legend in itself, being the first inductee of the 1993 Hall of Fame. It's awesome that they actually did this. Now, in any case, it's kind of confusing because I would have thought the winner of this match would go on to better things. Now, in this case, the Big Show was the winner. Won. Okay. So Cesaro won, but didn't get a championship match. I don't understand that logic. You know, why? You know, one day I'm pretty sure he will, but through the years it just seems like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal is a big waste of time, and all you get is a trophy. But that's just me. Then we get John Cena versus Bray Wyatt with the Wyatt family, and this is the first time that Bray Wyatt has made his appearance at the WrestleMania 30. Well, WrestleMania in general. And I'm just trying to fucking figure this out. Because I can't remember who opened for Bray Wyatt. And there's the band. I can't remember the name. But they came and they played for Bray Wyatt. But this was cool. You know, John Cena needed a bigger, a new feud, if you will. And of course, you know, you have Bray Wyatt who played tricks on John Cena, tried to psych him out, but it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. Because you still had John Cena come out on top, which in this case is fine because at Extreme Rules, I believe that the feud continued and Bray Wyatt won that match. But for his first WrestleMania, it wouldn't have hurt if Bray Wyatt won this one as well, but it is what it is. Then we get the shock of the night, if you will. For the first time ever at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. I was just thinking about Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. And understanding that The Undertaker was getting older, was getting slower at the time, and nobody knew anything. Hell, I didn't even know anything at the time. I guess what happened was Undertaker was concussed during the match, and he had no idea where he was. I guess that's what I heard. So Brock Lesnar hits 3 F5s, and then the last F5 goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And the whole stadium went silent. The Undertaker streak is now over. Now, when I did this review a couple years ago, I was disgusted. And I was disgusted because you have the fact that WrestleMania is special for 2 reasons. Obviously, the WWE Championship match, main event, but also for the Undertaker streak. Now, Undertaker was 21 at the time, and then it came down to 21-1. And when I heard that people left the arena after this match, made me sick. Because I don't care if you're a fan or not of a specific wrestler. When they lose, when you walk out of the stadium, You spit on everybody in the stadium, arena, whatever. You spit on a WWE. You spit on professional wrestling. I don't care if WWE calls himself sports entertainment. It's still professional wrestling. It's still something that you should enjoy no matter what the outcome. Yes, the Undertaker streak ended. Did you not think the Undertaker wanted the streak to end? How many more times is this guy gonna go out and have to worry about keeping his streak alive? Anybody could have beat the Undertaker and it still would have been not good enough. Now, you could sit there and say, well, Edge retired and he surrendered the World Championship after defending it at WrestleMania 26. I can't remember. I know I just did them a few as well. And then I can go, yeah, but he didn't know that he was going to lose the title. He didn't know that he was going to lose it because he was injured and had to retire. So, I mean, I was shocked. I didn't know this was going to happen. I think what is more frustrating is that Undertaker lost to a part-timer. If it was anybody else, it would have been fine, but Brock Lesnar is attraction. And the fact that he's a part-timer rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So I do understand why a lot of people are pissed off, but not that pissed off to miss the rest of the show. Then we have a Vicky Guerrero Invitational match for the WWE Divas Championship. It was AJ Lee versus Aksana, Alicia Fox, Brie Bella, Cameron, Emma, Eva Marie, Layla, Naomi, Natalia, Nikki Bella, Rosa Mendez, Summer Rae, and Tamina Snuka. Now, everyone knows that CM Punk left the WWE a few years earlier on a sour note. He's hooked up with AJ, who wouldn't. So AJ came back. And of course, she had to come back under the condition that she would have to eat shit like the taste, so to speak. So eventually that's what happened. And despite all the fact that it was an invitational, AJ Lee still retained the Divas Championship. So really, it backfired. But anyways, then we get the triple threat match, the main event for the WWE World Championship. I don't know why they call it the WWE World Championship. That's the same. Hey, it's the World Wrestling Entertainment World Championship. That doesn't make sense. But anyways, it is what it is. So, we obviously knew what was going to happen. And I think the rumor that I heard was they changed the winner at the last minute because of the whole shock of The Undertaker losing the streak. They decided to go with Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan won doing the yes lock on Batista and winning the World Heavyweight WWE Championship. And it's kind of reminiscent of WrestleMania 20 with Chris Benoit, because it was like the yes lock is reminiscent of the Crippler Crossface, the way he raised the title up, or the titles up, was it was, you know, it was reminiscent of both WrestleMania 20 with the confetti. You see Chris Benoit raising the belt up. But also WrestleMania 18, Triple H raising both titles up. But this was also dedicated to a fan. Now, like it or not, and I appreciate seeing this, WWE cares a lot about their fans, especially the terminally ill ones. And, you know, that year was dedicated to Connor, the Crusher, and I can't remember his last name, forgive me. And it's sad because he, you know, a little boy who was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, basically the whole WWE took time out of their schedule in an empty arena and had him come out in the aisle and get in the ring and pin Triple H. And, you know, when I saw the package, well, when I saw it the first time, yeah, it was sentimental. That was on TV, I think. And then when I saw it again, it did bring tears to my eyes, as I know. I think it brought tears to everyone's eyes, you know. To have cancer at that age is just not fair. But this match was dedicated to him, which was awesome. And so Daniel Bryan won and brought his niece out with him to celebrate, but also sharing that moment with Connor, who was front row, was very cool. And so that was, you know, WrestleMania 30. It was, it was pretty cool. It could have been better, sure. You had a moment backstage reminiscent of WrestleMania 1 with Hogan and Piper was there. It was like Hogan, Piper, I'm not sure if Mr. T, he might have been there. And Paul Orndorff, who was not looking too well. And this was, it's always cool to see that. It's like WrestleMania 19, or no, WrestleMania 27, when The Rock and Austin encounter each other in the hallway. That's pretty cool. But yeah, this was a good, fairly good WrestleMania. You know, and it'll get better, you know. 2 more to go. So, talk to you tomorrow. Bye.